Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining me today on my YouTube channel. Today I want to share with you some hints and tips and show you how to create some sweet peas using the sweet pea die set from Heartfelt Creations and also using the art foam paper as well. So the dies that we're going to be using is this set here, and in this set you've got two different size dies to create two different size sweet peas. You've got two different size leaves and you've also got the calyx in there as well. The art foam comes like this in a pack of 10. It is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. And when you get it home, if I just grab a sheet here, this is what you're going to find. And it is a little bit scary for those just starting out in your flower shaping craft, because it is like, wow, where do I start? So I want to show you today the easiest and quickest possible way that you can create absolutely stunning flowers. So if we just take a look at some of the flowers that I've created, and I've used two different methods. So for this one, I've used an iron to heat my art foam, and this one is exactly the same die. So it was the same size when I started out, but I've actually used the heat gun. So using the heat gun, as you can see, does actually shrink your foam a lot more than it does when you're using your iron. Okay, so let me just quickly just show you some of the flowers and some of the different ways that you can create those sweet peas. I've used various different stamens in the center, and again I will be showing you this throughout the video at different stages. There's another one there, look. Okay, so you can get lots of different designs out of them. For this one here, I've used one of the calyxes and wrapped it around some pearl stamens in the center. And there's one there, that's one of the smaller ones, using the pearl stamens as well. I think that one would be an absolutely gorgeous flower to put on a wedding card. So let me just put these all to one side and let's start create. Oh, let me just show you this one actually, because I am actually really proud of this one. I think this is so cute. Just look at the detail in there. Okay, and this is using one of the stamens. They actually look like this. And this is what Heartfelt brought out. I think it was with the Calla Lily collection, going back a few years back. Okay, so I'm going to show you various different ways on how to create this. So the very first one that I want to share with you is using the heat gun. Now I'm going to show you just quickly how to colour that up. So I'm just going to bring my glass mat in, and we're going to use the smaller flower from the sweet pea collection. I can just find the other half of it because I've not got the other bit to it for some reason. And I don't know where it is. Where's it gone? There we go. So that's what you're going to cut out. Now, let me just bring in my dies here and show you how I've cut it out. So I've basically cutting out 3 sheets at a time, and that your die cutting machine will take at least 3. It may even possibly take more. And I just basically tape these down the same as I would if I was using paper, and I just cut them out of using my die cutting machine. Okay, so as I say, just have a look, maybe try 3 to start with. If you think that's gone through pretty easy, I might be able to get even 4 or 5 out. Just give it a go. You'll know your machine. Right, so to start colouring, there's various different ways of colouring your foam. Now, because it is white, you can obviously colour in any colour you like. So what I'm using today is just some artist oil pastels, okay? And these I literally got off of Amazon. I think they were around £15. So they were kind of not cheap, but they're not expensive either. Okay, and I've got various different colours in there as well. So that's one way. You can also use your chalk pastels as well. You can use your dye inks, you can use your oxides, you can use what else do I use? Some hybrid inks as well. Your foam will take, it's just having a practice. So basically any inks that you've got at home, have a try. The only one I would say steer clear of, and that would be your stays on ink, because that will stain your hands and we don't want to be walking around in dirty hands. As you can see, I've already got ink all over mine, but that's something that I've kind of learnt to live with, and I'm also covered in glitter as well. So I'm going to start by just colouring in the centre in a dark kind of fuchsia pink. And I'm going to go around and just bring that in from the centre and just work my way. Just about 3/4 of the way, I think I would say that I'm going in there, just leaving the edges. And it's, again, how you want to colour in. Maybe you want to go around in circles, that's maybe how you prefer to do it. But again, it's completely up to you. So as you can see, I am doing both sides. Now that is important when you are creating flowers, purely because you can see the bottom of the flowers, the underneath of the flowers as well. So I would highly recommend colouring both sides of your flowers. Now I'm going to go in with a paler pink, and I'm just going to literally just blend and go slightly over that darker area there and just bring that paler pink to the edges. Turn over and I'm going to do again. It doesn't matter if you leave a little bit of white. When you think about all the varieties of sweet peas, they are all so different. So just have a play, have an experiment on different colours. So when you've finished colouring them in, what I would suggest is just taking some kitchen roll and just cleaning that glass mat. And then if you can see, there is little bits of areas where there's some loose bits of that pastel. So I'm basically just wiping them off and just kind of smoothing over that area that I've just coloured. And it's actually blending it in slightly as well, which is really nice. So that's basically what you're aiming for. So I'll just clean my mat. So as I say, for this one, I'm going to be using the heat gun. So I'm just going to, you will have to bear with me with the noise just for a few seconds. So I'm just warming that up. I'm going to go in with this one first, and I'm just using a pokey tool just to hold that down. So if I just bring that over, you can see how that shrunk in size and it's kind of curled up. So that's that one. I'm going to come back in with this one and do exactly the same. So once I'm kind of satisfied that, yep, that's kind of shrunk and it's curled up nicely, I can then put that away. And the next part is I'm going to bring in my flower shaping tool. So for my flower shaping, I'm using the Heartfelt Creations Deluxe Flower Shaping Kit. So I've actually got two mats that I'm working with. One is one where I'm going to shape it, and as you can see, that's where I've got glue on my mat. So this is a well-used one. But because I'm using the chalk inks, your ink will dirty your mat. So that's one that I'm predominantly using, and that's a nice clean one that I will use at the very end of my flower shaping. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to take one of these tools. So these are the golf tools from Dress My Craft. Really handy tool, and I really would suggest if you are really going to be getting in and you're going to be doing lots of flower shaping, to invest in some of these. So I'm going in from the center and working my way to the edge. And as you can see, that's actually pulled out slightly. It's a lot bigger now than it was. Now, if I did it the other way, so if I went in from the outer edge this way, it wouldn't stretch that quite so much. So again, there's actually quite a few different sizes that you can make with these, but can you see now how much thinner that actually is? And I've just kind of made a nice sort of score area on that foam. I'm going to do exactly the same with these ones. Now, if I go in from the edge, that's going to stop that from sort of like stretching as much. So if I go in that way, like that, it's not actually going to stretch it quite as much. So again, have a play. Don't be afraid of it either. Yes, if you are a little bit too tough with it and you stretch it and you roll it too hard, you can actually snap bits off. But at the end of the day, just go ahead and start again. It's just practice. They always say practice makes perfect. And they are very, very right. So with this one, I'm now going to add some more texture to it. So I'm now going to give each one of these a twist. So I'm grabbing here. So I've kind of folded it in half, and then I'm just going to give it a twist. So it now looks like that. And we're going to do exactly the same with this one. Like that. And then the same with the larger one. Okay. And the thing is, you can keep going over steps. So don't be afraid. So if you think, I actually want a little bit more texture on there, don't be afraid to bring that golf tool in again and add a little bit more and then give it a twist again. But I'm actually quite happy with that one. And now what I'm going to do is exactly the same with this one. I'm going to give it a twist. Okay. And I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. As I say, I'm being quite ruthless with it. I'm not being gentle at all with it. And there, I'm actually really happy with that shape. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a hole so that I can pop my stamen in it. And the really nice thing about these tools is it's tapered, okay? So it goes from thin to thicker. And I can go in to give my hole the right amount of depth that I need. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is add my stamens. So for the stamens on this one, I've done some green ones. Now, if you're not familiar with your stamens and you're wondering what on earth is she talking about, they come in lots and lots of different colours, different sizes. If you head on over to Heartfelt Creations website, you will find lots of different ones on there. Or Create and Craft if you're over here in the UK. I'm sure we have lots of them on the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that in the centre and I'm just going to bring them over. So I'm basically folded that in half and brought all those stamens together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a florist wire and I'm just going to pop that through and I'm going to bring it over about 1 inch, 2 inches down. Doesn't really matter. That's not really an issue with that one. And then we're just going to wrap that wire around to hold that together. And that's how you are going to bring those stamens through your holes on your sweet peas. I've actually gone ahead and covered these ones with some green florist tape. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to take the petals with the 3 petals and I'm going to just bring that up to about there. So my stamens are just sitting nicely out of the top. And then I'm going to just twist that around a little bit. And I'm now going to add my glue. Now, something that I've learned over the last week or two, whilst I've been playing with my sweet peas, is I now use nail glue with a brush because it is so much easier, quicker, neater than using my glue gun. Oops. So you've probably seen me on Create and Craft using my glue gun. I now have decided that the nail glue is actually a lot easier. So I've added my glue there, and then I'm going to just at the base of that flower, just there, add a little bit more, and then I'm going to bring that down about there. So I'm just going to hold that there for a second. Obviously, because it is nail glue, just be very careful you don't glue your hands or your fingers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll these petals in my hand, in between my fingers, to shape those even more. And then this one, what you can do is you can take your golf tool and just manipulate that foam to how you like it. If you want to, you can add some more depth by just going around that petal and giving it a bit of a twist in various places, just holding like that with your thumb and finger, and with your other hand using your thumb and finger again to twist. And I'm actually quite happy with the way that that's looking already. Okay, and then I'm going to bring those next 2 petals. I like to call these the dumbbells because they look like a pair of dumbbells or a set of dumbbells. And I'm just going to bring that up. And then what you want to do is just get that, so it's kind of got wings at the minute. And then I'm just going to bring that down, and I'm going to add some more glue at the very base of those top petals. And I'm going to bring that up, and I'm just going to hold that for a few seconds so that that is in place. And I'm now going to do exactly the same with these ones. So I'm going to twist until I'm happy that I've got the shape that I'm pleased with. Okay, so that is my first sweet pea using my flower shaping foam. And as you can see, no sweet pea will look the same when you're using your flower foam. Depends on how you manipulate the petals. It depends how you shape them, how much detail that you actually want in there, to how that's going to look. And then what you're going to want to do is add one of the calyxes on the back just to finish that off. So with this one, I'm just going to leave that for now, and we'll come back to that calyx on the next sweet pea. So the next sweet pea, I'm going to use the larger one. Okay, so this was die cut from the larger die. And for this one, I chose sort of like a peachy colour and like a tan brown to give me that colour there. So I've done it in exactly the same way, darker down the centre, and then gone on the edges with my pale colour. we can see there, okay? Both sides, don't forget, that is really important. So this time I'm now going to bring in my iron. Okay, so I'm going to hold the iron there, just make sure it's in place. I've got mine on number 2 setting. This is a Russell Hobbs, I think it's a travel iron actually. Again, I got this off of Amazon and I think it was around £14. So it's not an expensive iron at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now use the iron to heat my foam up. So to do this, I'm going to come in with my petals and I'm just going to hold them there. Now, I've obviously got long nails, which do really help for this. But if you don't, you can use some tweezers to hold your foam in place. So for this one, I'm just twisting like that after I've been and heated it on that iron until I'm happy with the desired effect. So on this one, I'm not actually going to score it. I wanted to show you one that hasn't been scored with the golf tool. Just in case you don't have the golf tool, you can still get a great effect with it. So again, I'm going round and I'm now twisting. I'm going to go again, move around slightly. I think around 3 twists is actually quite sufficient. Okay, and then just pull that out. I'm quite happy with that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. So I'm going to do half and half. So I'm going to heat half of this up first, and you'll just see it shrinking slightly, and it actually is kind of folded over as well. So then twist, I'm coming in again and twisting, and then I'm going again, and I'm going to heat that other side up for about anything between 5-6 seconds. And then I'm going to twist again and come down the bottom there and twist. So that's my desired effect that I want on that one. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with this one, the dumbbells. Just heat that up, rolling it a little bit. I'm kind of helping it shape, and twist, and then twist. So you go on to do that all the way around. There's a lot of twisting involved in these ones, as you can see. But as I say, this is just one way that I found that you can do it. I will show you one more SweetPea after this one using your Heartfelt shaping tool. And that one's not, just going to heat that a little bit more. You can go back to the iron and heat it several times if you kind of feel that it's not shaping very well. As I say, don't be afraid to go over certain steps again if you're not happy with it. You can't harm it at all. So we're just going to bring that round, and then finally that piece at the bottom. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my Heartfelt shaping tool. I'm using one of the larger ball tips, and I'm going in at the base of that larger petal there, and I'm going to lift it up so I can show you what I'm doing. And I'm just manipulating that, stretching and moving that ball to create a really nice shape there. And then I'm going to do the same with this one, just a little bit, just to get that into a really nice shape. Okay, that one was the wrong way, there we go. So just using that in exactly the same way on this one. So you can use it on your mat if you want, and then bring that up and use it like that. And you as I say, you can't hurt it. You're just bringing that round and shaping that to create that shape. And then we're going to come in and I'm going to add a hole in each of one of these. And then bring in my stamens. So for this set of stamens, I've used some of the larger stamens and some smaller ones. And I'm going to bring those down and sit them there. And then very similar way that I did the last one, I'm going to add my glue. So just at the base there of each of those petals, and I'm going to bring those in together. Like that, so it looks a bit like a butterfly there, little butterfly wings. And then on this one, it's just opened up slightly, so I might end up having just add a little bit more glue there and just pinch that together. As I say, if you don't have long nails like I do, it may be well worth using some tweezers to hold that together so you don't actually glue your fingers. I'm going to come in with my glue again, just at the base there, and lift that up. Okay, and then just hold that for a few seconds until that's glued. And then I'm going to come in with my dumbbell die shape petals, and once I know that I've kind of got that situated right, I'm going to bring that down and just add some glue at the base of those top petals, bring that up. So I'm holding that up there in place. And there is another different variety of sweet pea. So if I just show you this one was used using my, I think I used the heat tool on this one. And then I've also scored it using the golf tool there. But look how different that is. The same die, but a completely different looking flower. So the last sweet pea that I'm going to show you is going to be that really pretty, delicate yellow one. Okay, so we're just going to make that one. Now, before I forget, I did promise you that I was going to share something a little bit different with you. And believe it or not, hang on, I've got to find them. These are made with that very same sweet pea die set. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what they are. I'm hoping you can work out for yourselves what they are. But if you want to know how to create these flowers using your sweet pea die set, do keep an eye out next week, because I will be uploading another video to YouTube showing you how you can create those other flowers using your sweet pea die set. So for this one, I'm using 2 different shades of yellow, and I'm going in with a deeper yellow in the center. Again, just going up towards the tip. I'm kind of using the same colouring technique as I did with the other flowers. But if you don't have any oil pastels, as I say, you can use your other inks that you've got. I've got some ink here, some dye-based ink that I used for the purple flowers that you saw earlier when I was going through them. And then I use my daubers to blend those colours in, which I will show you in a second. So I'm just going to come in with my paler yellow and just go in towards the edge. So if you're really liking this technique that I'm sharing with you today, I would really like it if you would leave a comment. Tell me what you think to my video tutorial. Whether it's good or bad, I'm open to criticism, and helpful criticism is always a great thing. And yeah, share it with your friends if you think it's something that they may like or enjoy. And I'd really like it if you would subscribe as well, because then you will be able to get your notifications on when I upload my videos. It always depends on whether or not I'm at the actual studio, how many a week that I will be uploading. My aim is probably to upload a minimum of 2 a week, but when I'm not at the studio, when I haven't got my shows, I'm really hoping that I can maybe get 3 videos in a week. No promises, but if you subscribe to my channel, then obviously you won't miss out on any exciting videos that I upload. So what I'm going to do now is bring my iron back in, and I'm going to take those petals that I've just coloured, and I'm going to do them in basically the same way, but for this one I think I am going to use my golf tool. So we're going to heat that first. So I'm actually heating that whole petal. Going to bring that, you see where that's kind of naturally curled round? I'm actually going to use that side. So I'm going to come in from the edge inwards for this one with my golf tool, and it does add an extra little bit of texture to your flower. See there? You can see it slightly on the other side as well. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to do both of these just for quickness. A few seconds, hold that there, and they're basically nice and shaped. And then I'm going to come in and score using my golf tool. If you aren't familiar with the golf tools, I think they come in a set of 4. You get different sizes. This is the larger one, and they are great not just for your foam flowers, but they're also really good for your paper flowers as well. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same with my dumbbells here. And just using that golf tool, I'm going to just score all the way down to the center, turn around and do the other side. You can just kind of see it moving. If I just bring that up, you see where that's shrinking? There we go. And do exactly the same with this one. So this is the smaller one of the die sets. You see there what I'm doing? I do tend to, so used to working, and I work quite close to myself, so I'm trying to let you see as much as you can. There we go. So I just have to keep remembering to move that up. Now for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roll these petals. In actual fact, I've gone the wrong way, so I'm going to turn that over. See how even if you make a mistake and you're not happy with it, you can still, whoops, change your mind and not ruin your flower shaping. So that's my dumbbell. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with these ones. So I'm taking my finger and thumb and I'm rolling that foam in my hands like that, and the same with this one. Being quite tough with it. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on, depending on how much you want that to roll over, depends on how long you do it for, but I'm quite happy with that one. So what I'm going to do is just add my holes to put my stamen in. And for this one, I'm going to be using one of the calla lily stamens. Okay, so this one's going to be slightly different. So I'm going to bring that a little bit further up. So I'm just going to have to stretch that hole slightly so that it's about just a, can you see how far I brought that up? Okay. And then what I want to do is just have a look to see how I want that to sit. Okay, so I'm going to get my glue, and just at the base there, each side of that stamen, I'm adding my glue, and then I'm going to bring those two petal front petals up so that that stamen sits in between those petals. And then again at the back there, just adding that glue. Then I'm going to bring that larger petal up. It's about a quarter of the way up that stamen. And there I've got the centre of my sweet pea. I'm just going to take, I've got a little bit of pastel on that, but I'll clean that up later. And then I'm going to bring that dumbbell over, and once I'm happy again with how that's sitting, I'm going to just bring it down slightly like that, and just add at the base of my flower a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to bring that up, and there you have another kind of design of sweet pea. So the three that I've made are, if I can find them, I can't remember which ones I did now. It was this one, so that was the pink one, and which other one did I do? Pink one and the peachy coloured one. Oh, there we go. And there's that peachy coloured one. Can you see the three different ways that you can actually shape those sweet peas? I think this one has to be one of my favourites, actually. I really do like that one. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do is, obviously you will add your calyxes on the back. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my score tool, and I'm going to bring and sit that over and hold it on my iron, and it literally, that's it. I haven't had to do a thing, okay? So what you can do, if you want to make them slightly longer, you can pull those, each petal of that calyx like that, and you can make them slightly longer. And then what you're going to do then is, oh, my tape's just come off of that flower. There we go. I'm just going to make that hole a little bit bigger. Like that. And you're going to want to put that, so with the shaped petals shaping down, you're going to want to bring your wire in there, up over the thicker part of that, and there you have your finished sweet pea. Now you do have flowers in the die set, so really, really easy to do, okay? So what I've got is I've got one of my leaves there. I'm going to bring and hold that on to my iron. Again, don't do this if you don't have long nails. You are going to want some tweezers or a metal tool just to hold that on. And once I'm happy with that, you can see that that's just rolled over slightly. So my chosen way of doing this is going to be this way. And for this, I am going to go from the center of my leaf, and I'm just going to add some texture using my golf tool from that center again. So I've turned it around. There we go. And I've just added some texture. Each side sort of gone where the shape of the leaf is. And then I'm going to fold this in half. I'm going to go this way. So folding that in half there. So the bits that I've just scored are facing each other. I'm going to bring my iron back, and I'm just going to hold that on my iron. Can you see what I'm doing? And I'm just keeping that folded. I'm then going to hold that together, slightly pull it out, and then I'm going to bring it together again. So can you see where that's kind of now got a nice shape to it already? And then I think I'm going to give it a little bit of twist and add some texture and get a really nice shaped leaf with that. Okay, can you see there what I've done? And I'm quite happy with that. And then just to finish that off, you can add a wire to the back. So with this one, I'm just going to go all the way down that spine of that leaf. Not quite to the top, I'm holding the top there with my fingers. And then I'm just going to hold that. I'm trying to do it so that you can see what I'm doing. Just glue my wire on the back, which means I'll just let that dry for a second actually before I show you. Okay, which means that if I bring this one over, which I did earlier there, it means that I can move and get my leaf in any way I like. Okay, and then you can tape down with your florist tape down there, and you can use that either on a card, on a project, or you could use these sweet peas and put them in a vase. So many different ways that you can actually use these flowers. And there is your leaves. And then just to finish it off, so it really does look like a sweet pea, you can either use a wire. So I've used, these are actually the bits from the stamens. Some of the stamens actually come on a wire, and I've just coloured the wire in green, and then I've gone down anything really. So you can use shaping tool, you can use a paintbrush. I think I used the paintbrush for these ones here. So you're just going to basically just twist that around, and that's going to create your tendrils for your sweet peas. Just like that. Really nice and easy. But you can use flower foam in exactly the same way. So what I did was I just got some scraps of the flower foam, coloured it all in green. I took my paper trimmer and just really thinly just trimmed lots of strips like this. And then what I did find with the foam, a metal tool is better because it doesn't slip. And then I'm going to do that in exactly the same way. So basically you're going to want to just twist that around. If you want it nice and tight, then obviously you would use a smaller tool. And then once that comes off, there you have your tendril. And then you can add it to the back of your flower, like that one. And it really does actually look quite realistic, I think. So that's your SweetPea tutorial today. If you've got any questions, please do leave it in the comment, and I'd really like it if you would subscribe. And as I say, I'm just open to anything. So if there's something that you'd like me to teach or to show you, or if you've got any questions at all about Heartfelt Creations products or any of the other products that I take on TV, please do leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it.